Alright, we are going to be doing determining bouncing paths. And this would be page 26. So, first off, we got to talk about bouncing angles. So, if we had a wall here, and we had a ball, if this ball was rolling towards the wall, and let's say that it hits at an angle of 40 degrees, one fact is that when it bounces off, it's going to follow a straight path at the same angle when it bounces off. So that angle right there will also have to be 40 degrees. So if you ever need to know the angle, you know that these two are going to be equal. Okay, and so one thing that you're going to be doing mostly for this assignment is you are going to be finding the best way to bounce objects off of that wall so that you could hit maybe a target right there. For example, okay, let's say that we have another wall and we have a ball B, and I want to find a path that hits this target C up here. So this is kind of like pool. This is like billiards. You're going to hit B, the cue ball over here. It's going to bounce off the wall, and then we want it to land on our target. Now, there is a way to actually find exactly that point. So what you're going to do, and which it's kind of hard to show in this video, is that you're going to take C and you're going to rotate it around, not rotate, you're going to reflect it over that line L. And so what happens is that that distance right there is going to be the same distance down here, and that's your new image. C was your pre-image, and C prime is now your image. And so if you put a straight edge and you create a line between B and C, it's going to look like this. So that means what that does for us is that actually creates a line that's going to start towards the wall, and then right where it hits the wall, you're going to bounce and create a straight line up to C. And so this guarantees that this angle and this angle are going to be the same, and so when you bounce it off the wall like this, it's going to bounce back up to C. Okay, so let's have another example here. Let's say that we had an obstacle, like I have to go around an object. So another example is we might have a pool table like this, and we have a ball here, and we want to get it into this pocket there. The problem is there is maybe like another opposite ball, the opposite colored ball, that we don't want to be in the pocket. So we are going to take this ball and we want to bounce it off and get into that pocket. Okay. Now the target is this pocket down here, that point right there. And the wall that we bounce off is the one that you're going to reflect over. So think of this as like a line, this whole top here. And we're going to call that line cursive M. So I'm going to take my target and I'm going to reflect it over cursive N up here, and that will be my new target. So normally, if I wasn't on a computer, I would be using a protractor. I'd be lining up the protractor, and just like we did in class, we would reflect this up here. Now what that does is that creates a mirror image that is the same distance away from the center line right there. So now if I draw a straight line from here to the reflected target, that's the beginning of my bouncing ball, and then when you reach this point here, it's going to bounce and go straight to my target. Okay, so we're going to do one more that's a little more complicated. Okay, there might be a time when we need to bounce off more than one wall. So I'm going to draw a large situation here. So think of this kind of like mini golf. We have A up here, that's our goal. And then we have C, this could be like our cue ball, or this could be our golf ball. And our goal is to reflect C, or bounce C off the walls to get to A. Now if I tried to just do like a normal reflection, I'm going to hit that wall. So I can't do it that way. I have to bounce twice. And so what I have to do is I have to bounce off of this wall, and I also have to bounce off of this wall, which means I'm going to be making two reflections. And so if you're thinking about this, it will come down, bounce off of that wall, and hit A. So the first thing we want to do is reflect A over that last wall. So again, I would do this on paper with a protractor if it wasn't recording on a computer. But we want to reflect that A so that it's the same distance away. So that's your A prime. Okay, but you also have to reflect it then over the red line, the first wall that we'd bounce off of. And so we would reflect this down so it's the same distance down here. Okay, so this is our A double prime. Now, when we are creating our line, C is first going to go towards that double A. But then at the point where it hits the wall, it's going to bounce and then go over to the single A. And then at the point where it hits the wall again, it's going to bounce and come up to A. So it's like that these don't exist. These are just dotted lines there and dotted lines there. And we have a path here. We have it going this way, bouncing off, and then bouncing off again. So on your worksheet, you're going to be doing this. You're going to be creating paths by reflecting your target over the line you're going to bounce off of. And you're going to use protractors. So you need to get your protractors out, and you need to be as exact as you can.